presentation killers. The first presentation killer is the empty tank filler. Empty tank filler. The problem is, when people use empty tank fillers, their tank is not empty. But they use these fillers, and it makes them sound like they have an empty tank. You familiar with all these? You know, somehow this has started in sports. People start sentences. They begin answering questions by saying, I mean. Have you noticed this lately? People are starting their sentences by saying, I mean. They haven't said anything, but they're telling what they mean anyway. And see, these are presentation killers, folks. You have to get rid of them. How do you do it? With a camera, with a recorder, having your friends giving you feedback. If you record yourself, you're going to hear this stuff. Now, here's why this is so fascinating to me. All of you are pros. You know your information. You have your content down cold. Now, remember when I had you introduce yourself. Some of you suffered a case of the ums and the ahs. Why? I did not ask you to explain any bizarre theory. I asked you about yourself. But you, I'm going to show you how to overcome that in a couple of minutes, but let's talk about some other presentation killers. We have the Harvey habit. Anybody ever see the movie Harvey with James Stewart, where he talked to a white rabbit? Well, see, have you seen presenters? Okay, well, let me see. Well, let me think about that. I know that someplace I've got that. Do you ever hear presenters talking to themselves? Like they're talking to Harvey the white rabbit? Don't do that. Don't talk to yourself. We also have the sidebar sessions. Now, sidebar sessions are those sessions where someone is giving a presentation, and rather than looking at the general audience and saying, well, what do you think, Bill? I remember we talked about that, Bill? See, I'm having a sidebar session with Bill rather than really focusing on everybody out here. Watch out for sidebar sessions. To me, sidebar sessions are really rude because you're ignoring your audience and you're focusing on one person. You should not be doing that. Now, again, if Bill asks me a specific question, yes, indeed, Bill is now a representative of the group. So, indeed, I do focus my attention on him. Another killer are the screen gems. I gave you a hint at this before. The screen gems are the people that are like this. They don't look at you. They don't pay attention to you. And when I'm standing here looking at the screen talking like this, where is my voice going? Here. I'm not projecting out here. So we might have a couple of people in here who have a hearing problem similar to my hearing problem. And if I'm talking to the screen, they can't hear. So please avoid screen gems. Now, I'm going to show you another technique. This is a sidebar right here of a different sort. Most training instructors who give presentation skills say that what you should do is that you should stand on this side to present. You stand here and the screen is there. And the logic for that is that we read from left to right. So where should the focus be? On you as the speaker. That seems to work in some instances. But what I do is I prefer to come over here, and if you are a visual person, I want you to be able to see the screen first and focus on the screen. So you have to figure out. But again, this is all part of the planning process. You have to plan this stuff. The belly bombers. Let me show you what a belly bomber is. Now, folks, we really have to talk about belly bombers. You see where the screen or where the thing is going? I've blocked it. I'm amazed at how many times I see people do that. They walk right in front of the projector and totally block out the visual for the people. Now you have belly bombers, you also have headshots. Now see, I'm not blocking the whole thing with my belly, but I'm standing in the way of the actual the visual being shown on the screen in its entirety. That's another reason why I am over here. These are things you have to plan in your program. This drives me nuts. And the reason it drives me nuts is that I'm a professor of positivity. Sucker setups are those situations where the person speaking will ask you a question and set you up for failure. Don't set people up for failure. If you're going to ask a question, make sure it's a question that they can answer and should answer correctly. How many of you think that the world will end tomorrow? And everybody's, no, the world's not going to end tomorrow. Well, and then the instructor or the teacher or the speaker would contradict that. Don't set people up for failure. How do you avoid these things? Pause, think, then talk. With the ums, the ahs, the you knows, the I means, you know when that is coming. You know it. You can feel it in your body. When you feel that coming in your body, shut up. That's all you have to do. Pause. Remember I said we use pauses effectively? Pause, and then think about what you're going to say, and then do the talking. What does this take? It takes practice. This is another reason for listening to yourself on a tape. And it takes that programming. If you program yourself for success, you will avoid the ums, you will avoid the ahs.